So welcome again, everybody, to the final DHAsia webinar of this year. A DHAsia webinar is a series designed for DH researchers in Asia, DH scholars of Asia, and those who are keen on all things DHAsia. My name is Setsuko Yokoyama, and I'm Assistant Professor of Digital Humanities at Singapore University of Technology and Design. I'm today's host, but this webinar is organized by a group of DH scholars across the region. So you can find them in the chat. As always. Oh, that's... And if you're keen on joining the organizing team, please reach out to any one of us. And I would like to take the moment to express my gratitude for the organizing team for their continuous effort throughout the year. It wouldn't have been possible without you all, so thank you. Now, without further ado, let me introduce today's moderator, Dr. Natsuko Nakagawa, Associate Professor of Graduate School of Humanities at Kyushu University in Japan. She is an expert on Japanese languages and Ryukyuan languages, and her latest work includes development of a linguistic typology database. She has also been playing an instrumental role for the newly launched postgraduate DH program at Kyushu University, and is a steering committee member of the text encoding initiatives, East Asian and Japanese Special Interest Group. So let me copy paste the Special Interest Group link in chat for those who might be interested in joining Dr. Nakagawa and Dr. Okada. Now, Nakagawa Sensei, could you introduce today's speaker for us?
Okay, thank you for your introduction, Yokoyama Sensei. I'd like to introduce Dr. Okada. Dr. Kazuhiro Okada is an associate professor at Keio University in Japan. He specializes in the history of Japanese writing system and is the author of the book titled Kindai Hiragana Taikei no Seiritsu, the establishment of the modern hiragana writing system. He is also an active contributor to the field of digital humanities, serving as a steering committee member of the TI Consortium's special interest group for the East Asian/Japanese, which Yokoyama-san pasted on the chat. Last year, he and his colleagues, Satoru Nakamura and Kiyonori Nagasaki, published a journal article titled Ruby as a Text, a note on the Ruby gloss encoding in the Journal of the Text Encoding Initiative. We look forward to hearing about this today, along with any other insights he may wish to share. Now, please join me in welcoming Dr. Kazuhiro Okada. Please.
Thank you for your kind introduction, and Dr. Nakagawa. And this is Kazuhiro Okada, Associate Professor of Keio University, Japan. Now, I will show my presentation. Can you see it?
Yes.
Thank you. So, I want to talk about TI encoding initiative of text in widely used globally, and I want to talk about its localization and internalization for Japanese materials. So let me talk about myself first. My name is Kazuhiro Okada, and I am specializing in Japanese writing systems. My main target is so-called Kuzushi, but also the history of Chinese script is my area of interest. And I am keen interested in this philology for a decade, and I serve as a member of a steering committee of the East Asian and Japanese special interest group of the TIA consortium. My first contact with digital philology is that the image shown bottom of right bottom, and it reads several scripts of Japanese, and it has so many reading about. It has many reading annotation, and it reads me. It made me question that how to deal with such a complex script in rather simple computer environment. So let me first introduce about the TEI. The Text Encoding Initiative is an initiative that provides infrastructure for developing machine actionable cultural heritage since 1994. So it provides a set of rules and guides to encode various types of text, the TEI guidelines. And it is also community driven by its users. The TEI guideline provides standards for encoding text in XML format. It makes some constraints and it gives special difficulties for TI users, but it also enables the well, not well, so benefits from its constraints. The TI guideline has a strong tendency to semantic and structural encoding, rather than its presentational ones such as HTML and typesetting encodings, which dictates what the font should be displayed in the size encode demands, rather than XTI shows us what the part to be meant by the author of the text. So, in this slide, the font is in metalizing, and the weight is medium, but TI did the TI format encode it as a header rather than its size and size and font size and the weight of the text. Can I remove this annotation? Well,
Whose annotation is this? It's not Okada-san's annotation. Maybe it's from
okay.
Zoom. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then why do I talk about TR? It is because it has been widely used by a considerable body of digital projects for decades. While the TR is not a goal than ultimate goals in itself, but its practical benefits extend to a wide range of users. So I want TI to be more internationalized and more usable to Japanese materials. Historically, TI development has been closely tied to Western classical texts. So the more the TI becomes internationalized, the more texts from diverse backgrounds will benefit from the TI ecosystem, including its XML-related tools to properly encode the XML stuff and processing software that encoded text could be used elsewhere. And most importantly, it's established encoding practices. So one need to be well one need to be one need to be used to TI standards, but one do not need to consider how to encode one by one. So it's a benefit. However, pretension to have various history and text practice traditions, and each tradition has its own text semantics. This may lead to the conclusion that TI is Western biased, not applicable to the other textual traditions. While text traditions vary across civilizations, they surely share commonalities that enable mutual understanding and adaptation through encoding frameworks like the TI. So the adaptation of the technology to accommodate non-Western text tradition illustrates how frameworks like the TI can also evolve to support diverse textual practices. After serious comparison between the TI concept of text with text tradition, there were agreement and disagreement. For agreement, applying TI concept to a text tradition, TI concepts to a text tradition will be its localizing of TI. And acting in the TI communities, the embrace practice in underrepresented text traditions will be internationalizing of the TI. So I want to talk about localizing TI into Japanese materials. The Japanese Special Interest Group has run TI coding workshop in Japan every week. Today it has meeting before this webinar. I forgot that ended actually, but yeah, we have workshop every week. And several textual research projects adopted TI and TI. For example, the classical Japanese poets, anthology of poets, also anthology of poems, named Manyoshu, is collected in around 7th century, I think. And two proposals for TI encoding of Japanese text has appeared. And from these works, we come to know what is relevant for encoding Japanese materials in TI. The books of the right side is a text box of TI in Japan. and I forgot to mention in that slides. And this is a website for our workshop. We switch it from well, the lunch time of Wednesday and the dinner time of the Thursday. And we will have it next time in the next class, next week's. And for the internationalizing part, TIA has seriously considered internationalization from its beginning. The TI guidelines have a dedicated module on characters not in character standards such as Unicode. Its module named Gaiji module. Gaiji means what is not equipped for movable type as a movable type originally, but in today's meaning, it is not in character standard, such as Unicode or other character standards. However, TIA have been constitutionally considered semantically structural diversity. TIA has traditionally prioritized universal principles over cultural-specific semantics. So they have paragraphs, they have chapters, they have etc., etc. But they think it is universal concepts rather than semantical, cultural specific. And when we talk about culturally, what it seems to be culturally semantic specific, but they ask whether it cannot be encoded by the existing semantics that is considered universal. So, of course, one can name dozens of elements that represent Western specific structures, especially for letters manuscript modules. So, when we write letters, we don't have we do write it structurally, but its meaning of structural component is culturally specific. So the tradition of Japanese writers seems to differ in differ in several aspects from the Western ways of writing letters, but there's the tags for Western letters, but not for Japanese or East Asian letters. But it is not still well accommodated now. So it is a kind of limitation for TI as for internationalizing. However, TI has now been worked on semantical structure diversity. So we made our Japanese tradition of annotations named Ruby made it to the TI framework. Ruby annotations refer to glossing practice that tries gloss and glossing text characters by characters. Now, for details, our where our article is available online. So please refer to that. So this is examples of Ruby annotations, and with these encircled by myself. From the left, we have. Can I? Well, I can't. The untitled area, and can you see my cursor surrounded annotations? Okay, and this denotes the main annotated characters and glossed characters in boldface, and the annotating characters in the above, and the and in the bottom. The top characters shows the rating of the main characters in bold, and the bottom characters representing the meaning of the text. And the characteristics of the Ruby annotation is it is tied with strongly with characters, gross text, and grossing text. Usual grossing practice does not do grossing by characters and character by character, so it is acceptable to write it down annotations in mouthing. But in Japanese tradition, the grossed text should be next to the original gross text. So see the image of the center image, and if the first the line 1, it has Makoto little. It reads Makoto little, and it has seven characters, 7 letters in this line, and the letter of 4 letters of the bottom has gross text the reading above the reading. Also has the gross in the left. It's 3, line 3, reads Skunaki. And the first letter of the line 3 is a Chinese character and show, and it has reading growth, skuna in hiragana and Japanese were syllables in line 4. So this Chinese character of the line 3 has a Ruby tied with the writing annotation should be pressed on the right side of the gloss text so that it has obeys the principle. This is now tier guidelines. It has annotated sections about rule annotations. So you can read its guideline nowadays. So this is a conclusion. After submitting our proposals in 2019, it finally adopted in the TIP5 guidelines version 420 of February 2021. So how can we balance the need for global standards with the demand of local structure traditions? This experience shows us that what is universal and what is specific to text structure. So we need to really think Ruby is cultural specific, but it needs to be included in the global standards. We hope this to be an example for how this humanity research can be adopted and applied across different cultural and linguistic contexts. So it finishes my slide. Thank you.
Thank you, Okada-san. Thank you very much. As far as I understand, Okada-san introduced two important new things specific to Japanese texts, maybe not Japanese Asian texts. First one is gaiji. If I understand correctly, gaiji module is applied for non-Unicode kanji characters or non-kanji characters. And there's a special module for that non-Unicode characters. And the second one is Ruby, which indicates mainly, I believe that Ruby provides the reading of a specific kanji, but sometimes it also functions as the explanation of kanji also. And okay, so my question is, could you explain more about gaiji first? Because I think some audience are not familiar with like Chinese characters, maybe. Yes.
Oh, yes. First of all, Gaijin is not for limited to Chinese characters. For there is not tons of characters that is not available in Unicode standards. So it's even if European characters like alphabets and something like that, and if it is limited in European Middle Age tradition, manuscript tradition, it doesn't need necessary to be available in Unicode standards. So it need to be used in a, if one want to encode it, one need to utilize guides module. And I want to I'm going to write where show the guideline page for guideline page for guides module in the chat. And
Thank you. And are you also trying to share the screen?
yeah.
we only see your slides. Okay.
This guy's module was well made available for TEI around 2000 and when Professor Christian Witterin and Professor Morioka and was contributed and deeply in the making of this module, and they are specialized in Chinese text. So East Asian text has been kind of targets of TI from the early days, but Chinese characters has tons of characters that are not available in Unicode standards, not to be available for future, and so one should consult and guide module in encoding, especially for complex Chinese text or Chinese classical text, and it has guide module is for documentation of the characters that are not available in Unicode, and if one documented a special entity and somewhere in the XML document, one can consistently use that character in the body of the text. So the Gaiji module is what Gaiji module is for documenting of the unavailable text characters, I think. Would it be enough?
Okay. Could you show us some examples of
Sorry.
um,
So it is this example shows a character available in Unicode but is a variant of a standard shape.
Could you enlarge a little bit more like that? Okay.
Can you see the detail?
Yes, it's enough. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. And
And there are two Chinese identical characters to me, but they are actually different, right?
they are the same, but its shape has slightly different. As for the upper light parts, the above character has this shape, and the bottom character has this shape, and this, and this. Sorry for poor rendition. And where and I don't remember which is which. The above character is this encoding example shows that the above character is same as the bottom character, so it has the different it's difficult to explain, but well, this example shows that if the character of the above character is used in body, but processor of the XML this XML document should consider this as same as the bottom one. So the users do not need to change which one is used in the user do not need to consider which one is used for in this document, since it is declared documented that the above one is same as the bottom one, so the processor can process this document as if it is as if the same is does not need to same.
Okay, so I see. So there are two different characters. So the computers cannot, I mean, usually the computer distinguishes these two characters, but you don't want to distinguish them. So if you search this character, then the another one hits, right? That's what you mean.
Yeah, yes.
The other one was hit. So basically these two characters are treated as the same.
Yes.
Okay, and that's why you need Gaiji module in that case?
Yes, so
okay, so actually these two characters have the different Unicodes or
Unicode character points. So one can import both in both shapes. So it need to be documented which one is what is used in this document.
Okay. And some people want to distinguish these two characters, so then they can, but other people don't want to distinguish them, then they can also ignore these differences and they can just search as the same character, right?
Yeah, that is what I mean.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, and let's move on to Ruby. Could you show us some example of Ruby also? Going back to the slide.
What examples of what?
Ruby.
Ruby examples.
I think your slides include a good example, but okay, the guideline is enough, I think.
Yes.
Okay. And as this TI example shows, T's, this is the above Ruby shows how to read these Roman alphabet in form of pseudo IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet. Okay, so are they, I mean, essentially different from nodes or annotations? Or, I mean, do you actually need a special element only for Ruby? Or node is just fine? Node element is just fine?
Well, it is a bit complicated. The originally
Uh-huh.
Ruby annotations is a kind of gross, so one can utilize node elements to be encoded these textual components.
Mhm.
But however, Ruby has special tendencies that the what is being grossed
Mhm.
is well rather sorry, Ruby has a special condition that Ruby itself is a kind of textual body. So
Mhm.
uh, well, in this case, you
Yeah, yes. I see what you mean. Okay, go ahead.
I switched to my slides.
Mhm.
Well, in the image, the light image, and there's the two Ruby encapsulated and encircled. And these two examples. Sorry, it's not a suitable example, but if you well
Yes. I think the first thing you said is that it's part of the body of the text. That's what you say, right? And I think you are right. I mean, notes are outside of the text, I mean, body of the text, but the Ruby is in the body of the text, inside the body of the text. So they're essentially different.
yes, and
Uh-huh.
I think the mhm, not the good ones, but what can make growth as the body text?
Mhm.
We don't have a good example, but and this one called with Majime
Mhm.
cannot be usually the main character text cannot be read usually this way rather than its usual reading maybe might be Shinmenboku, but in this case, we usually read it as Majime, but this is rather well, playful crossing to the text. So Ruby annotation is in most cases just annotation, but some cases it can be rather body of the text. So we need to make it as a different semantic component rather than node element which signals that it's not the part of the main text. And Ruby can be a main of the text. So gross is usually made by someone other than the author oneself, but Ruby is usually made by the author themselves. So it also makes it needed for Ruby to be encoded separately.
Okay, I see. I got it. So the Ruby is something that has that parallel structure like kanji and Ruby. It has completely parallel structure and then, merged into the body of the text again. That's the image, I think. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. So it's different from notes, I think. Okay, I think people understand got some understanding of Gaiji and Ruby. So we'd like to take questions or comments from the floor. If you have questions or comments, please raise your hand or write in the chat. Do you guys have any questions or comments? I think some people are not familiar with, many people are not familiar with Japanese texts, and so simple questions are welcome, like basic questions are welcome. Okay, Yokoyama-san, please.
I'm using my privilege as one of the hosting members. Thank you, Okada Sensei, for sharing the very detailed insights into TEI. And TEI has been around and has been shaping DH since the early days. And the fact that it's going strong and you and Nakagawa Sensei and others have weekly study sessions, it's really amazing. And I think it attests to the kind of philosophy and the principle of TEI, that it is about encoding documents, digital documents, or the digital surrogates of historical documents, both semantically and structurally, so that it can, all the meanings that humans have cultivated can be processed computationally and can be passed on to the future generations. So it might be controversial for me to say that TEI might be seen as like a first wave DH interventions, but the fact that you are playing with the long game, with the kind of archival time in mind, I think that is fantastic. So I have a question about Ruby specifically. I'm especially curious how machine reads Ruby. How does it process the Ruby? So I understand this it's read as gloss. Can it be used in other texts other than like a pronunciation gloss that we see in Japanese text? And I'm asking this as somebody who kind of retooled the Ruby encoding in Markdown. So I was doing the Jekyll and trying to do the Markdown to develop kind of annotation of audio recordings. So I was transcribing the audio recordings. Was not using TEI specifically, but to have a footnote for the transcript, I decided to use Ruby. But having listened to you and Nakagawa Sensei's exchange, it should have been notes. But I don't think notes is a tag that I can use in like HTML settings. So if you could tell me more about how machine processes Ruby when it sees that encoding specifically, what happens?
Thank you for your question. First of all, I need to explain that TAI does not dictate how one should process the XML text itself. Since TAI has no connection with processing software, so one need to craft processing procedure for each project. So if it is different for each project to process how Ruby elements to be, yes. And so this is why it is called machine actionable, right? So it cannot be processable if one did not craft XML properly. So that is actionable. And usually Ruby is translated into HTML Ruby elements. So I'm not sure how about what will be processed in machine reading software, but if Ruby is specified, the meaning of the site will be can be documented. So what will be writing and what will be meaning can be described separately. So one can with the reading growth as the reading text besides the main text, and not usual reading, for example. Example, yes.
That makes sense. Thank you so much. So I just need to define what I mean by Ruby in my given text.
Yeah.
Understood. Very cool. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
I think there should be more questions and comments, but time is almost up, so I'd like to close the question and comment session. Thank you, Okada-san. Thank you very much. Okay, I'd like to return to. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, then I'd like to return the microphone to Yokoyama Sensei.
Thank you so much. And thank you once again for sharing this TI initiatives that is happening and all the localizing effort that is happening weekly. So I imagine many in the audience and many others might be excited to join in you. So thank you once again, Okada Sensei, for sharing. Thank you, Nakagawa Sensei. for your generous moderation. And thank you everybody for coming in the audience. If you'd like to ask questions more, you can write to Okada Sensei, of course. And we are also on the DHAsia Discord channel. And so if you are not already in that channel, you can join us from the link in the chat. And we are a friendly bunch, so please find ourselves over there. So to be mindful of everyone's time, I also need to call it a day. But thank you so much for joining for this final session of DHAsia webinar of the year. And I'd like to welcome everybody for the round of applause for the speakers and the moderator. And I wish all a happy holidays ahead. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.